Today we continue with our class Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. And we start with the Sefer Shmiras Haloshon, and the topic today is reward. Okay. So it says, Zohar states, Parashah Hukas, that one who is zealous in avoiding forbidden speech becomes enveloped in a spirit of sanctity. One more time, Zohar states that the one who is zealous in avoiding forbidden speech becomes enveloped in a spirit of sanctity. Medrash Tanhuma, Tehillim 52:2 states, the Holy One, blessed be He, said, if you seek to escape the punishment of Gehinnom, distance yourself from Lashon Hara. Though this will be deemed meritorious in this world and the next. Okay. So distance from Lashon Hara, right? If you escape punishment from Gehinnom, at least one facet. Okay, for sure it helps, right? The Torah states, you shall not eat flesh of animal that was torn in a field. To the dog you shall throw it. Shmos 2:30. In fact, it is permitted to dispose of such meat in other ways as well. However, the Torah says that throw such meat to dogs as a way of reward for their not having howled at the Jews on the night of the Exodus, as HaShem does not deprive any creature of its just reward. So when we were living in Egypt, so of course it's a nature of the dog, when especially at night, when sees a person, a stranger, right, with a stick and many people, so it would for sure it would make a lot of noise, but surprisingly these dogs did not make any noise, right? And they were rewarded for eternity. So if we have a trifa or nevila, so we're allowed to give it to our dogs. Of course, you're allowed to sell it to non-Jews. There is no problem with the meat, but you can give it to the dogs as well. Okay. Surely then there is an infinite reward reserved for a man who through his free choice refrained from speaking the forbidden. So Mechilta Parashas Mishpatim 20. Okay, so what it says here, so as we know, animals do not have a free choice. Animals, right? They have instinct, but not free choice. So basically, they were scared, of Shechina that that's hovering above the nation of Israel, right? And they kept quiet. And even for those, even they are forced to do so in some sense, right? They got rewarded. And needless to say, a Jew has a free choice and choose not to speak Lashon Hara, right? Who choose not to speak the Lashon Hara, right? Will be rewarded. Okay, we start here. No problem. Okay, so we continue. So it's been some a long break with this class of Kitzur. We continue. So we're going to start today Siman 50, and our topic is the general rules of blessing before food, drink, and fragrances. Contain 16 CFim. Okay. So introduction. Kitzur has previously detailed the general laws regarding the blessings, right, as well as the proper intention and reverence for blessing in Siman 6. So it was a long time ago, right? In our Siman, Kitzur will discuss the laws relating specifically blessing recited on various pleasures. So there we were talking in a Siman 6 how a person should dress and what intention a person should have when making a blessing and stuff like that. So here we're talking about not like a specific kind of blessing for pleasures, right? So before deriving any pleasure in this world, we have to say a blessing. Okay, so let's see. See number 1. Is written Tehillim 24:1. To HaShem belongs the earth and its fullness, which means that everything in this world is like consecrated temple property. Just as it is forbidden to derive benefit from consecrated property, until it has been redeemed, and one who does derive benefit from consecrated property before it has been redeemed has violated sanctity. Likewise, it is forbidden to derive benefit from this world without reciting the blessing first. Okay, so let's do this piece again, and we're going to explain, because I mean, of course, our subject is blessing, but I want to explain this part also, because I think it's coming up in the next few parshas. I think this laws. Okay. So one more time, it says in Tehillim, it says, "To HaShem belongs the earth and its fullness." Right? And then we know that HaShem created the whole world for His glory, for in honor of His name and His glory. That's it. So basically, he does not need anybody, right? It's opposite is true. He actually benefits everybody, right? In its fullness, which means that everything in this world is like consecrated property to the temple. So what does it mean? So a person was able, not now because we don't have a temple, but when we have had a temple standing, a person would be able to consecrate whatever he wants to the temple. He could consecrate even I don't know, like animals, right? And even if there is some problem with the animal, they would not be able to bring them as sacrifice. They would sell and use money for temple upkeep, or he would dedicate, I don't know, pillows or a chair or a table, anything, right? So as soon as person would dedicate things to the temple, like verbally, he would be forbidden from using these things, and unless he decides to redeem from the temple, and to redeem from the temple, you have to pay the value. So coin would come, evaluate what this thing worth. Coin, or sometimes 3 people, like if you dedicated your house, your field to the temple, so it's you need several judges, right? And then if you want to keep it, like you want to keep it, you have to pay like a penalty. Like I think it's a fifth. You have to the fifth to keep it. Okay. So now, everything in this world, it's like a consecrated property, meaning what? It is in your possession, like this bull that you consecrated to the temple. It is in your possession. So yeah, you're obligated to feed it and take care of it, but you're not allowed to work on it with it, right? So if you consecrated the bull, would not be able to work. That's it. You have to buy yourself another bull, basically. Okay. So same with the food, with all of the pleasure, they like consecrated property. And one who does derive benefit from consecrated property before it has been redeemed violates the sanctity. And when you had temple, a person would have to bring a sacrifice also. So it's not so cheap to break your word. Likewise, it is forbidden to derive benefit from this world without reciting blessing first. But how can we redeem whatever we have and wherever we want to eat the food, right? You have to say the blessing, and this blessing is in a place of redemption. Okay. So let's see the commentary. The verse "HaShem belongs to the earth and its fullness" implies that the man's use of the earth's resources would constitute trespass on God's property. Okay. This apparently contradicts another verse in Tehillim 1:15-16, which reads, "As for heavens, the heavens are HaShem's, but the earth is given to the mankind." It's actually, we say it in Hallel, right? So one more time the verse, "For the heavens is HaShem's, but the earth given to the mankind." So it looks like a contradiction. In one Psalm in 24 it says that everything belongs to HaShem, and in 1:15 it says no, heaven HaShem's domain and earth is for mankind. Very interesting. Which implies that earth is meant to use, right? The Gemara in Brachas 35a and b resolve the difficulty by saying that the verse which states that the earth belongs to HaShem refers to before one recites the blessing. So, as we said, there is no contradiction. Before you say the blessing, this earth and this apple that you're about to eat belongs to HaShem, right? While the verse that states that HaShem has given the earth to man refers after one recite the blessing. Okay, so it's very simple and straightforward, but that's what it is. So before you say the blessing, it belongs to HaShem. After you said the blessing, in some sense, as Kitzur said, you redeemed it, and now it is yours. You're able to eat it. The blessing is a redemption which permits the food to be eaten. Okay, continue. Therefore, one who derives benefit from this world without reciting the blessing is viewed as if he has violated the property that has been sanctified to God. So no more, no less. It's not like it's not nice and it's only. Some people say no, but it's rabbinical. Yeah, it is rabbinical mitzvah. But the person, the thief, who stole from HaShem, right? So okay. So one more time. Therefore, one who derives benefit from the world without reciting blessing is viewed as if he has violated property that has been sanctified to God. May his name be blessed. Not good. Not good be in this situation. There is no minimal measure for food or drink that require the recitation of Brocha Rishona, the first blessing. For even if one eats or drinks minute amount, he is obligated to recite Brocha Rishona. So Brocha Rishona is the first blessing. So as we said, no minimum amount. So for after blessing, yes, there is a minimum amount, a specific time span. Depends what you eat or what you drank and stuff like that. But here for initial blessing, even if you want to eat a few crumbs from the cookie, you have to say the blessing. There is no after blessing, but before blessing for sure. Or the tiniest sip of water, right? You would need to say the blessing. Commentary. This is a counter bracha achrona. So it's concluding blessing, right? Bracha achrona, which required only when one eats minimum amount. See below 51.2. Okay, so it's next chapter. Okay, we're going to get to it. So now we're talking about only initial amount. Okay. Continue. Although the halacha is that after the fact, if one has mistakenly recited the blessing of shechakol, nichiyeh bidvoroi, through whose word everything came to be, on any food, even on bread or wine, he has fulfilled the obligation. Nevertheless, it is forbidden to do so initially. There is one may not recite the shechakol blessing on any food for which he does not know the correct blessing. Okay. So let's try to understand. I mean, he goes long introduction. Now he goes into details right away. So there are several different blessings. So on fruits we say one blessing, on vegetables we say another, on mizones we say another, on wine we said a different blessing, but for bread different blessing, but for things that do not grow from the ground, right? And for drinks except wine we say shechakol. So for meat, for eggs, for cheese, right? Those that do not grow from the ground, and all of the liquids, right? Besides wine. So we say shechakol. So Kitzur saying you technically after the fact, if you say shechakol, right? If you say shechakol on anything, even on bread or wine, so after the fact, you don't need to repeat the blessing. Okay, even though we said do not rely on it. So some if you said it by mistake, so stop right there. Try to interrupt this blessing. Maybe go outside. Different techniques how to bring that blessing to the end, right? and then come back and say the correct blessing. So don't rely on this leniency. Even though there is leniency, but try not to rely on this leniency. So after the fact. But Kitzur said initially a person is not allowed to a person has a meal or something, right, or a snack, and he does or she does not know what blessing. So don't eat it. Don't eat until you find out what blessing to make. Right? Do some kind of research. Go to Rabbi, text Rabbi, call Rabbi. Ask what blessing to make. Right? You can call if you're not sure. Like in a class where we learn about cereals, right? The morning cereals, what blessing to make. We saw it's not such an easy topic. So for some cereals, they straightforward. Yeah, there is understandable. For some, it was very very surprising. It was the blessing was opposite what people thought initially it would be. Right? Sometimes you have to call the company and ask them what is a blessing. I mean, not call. Usually, it's on a website because it's all of these techniques how they make the cereals. Okay. So one more time, you're not allowed lechatchila, like initially, say shechakol blessing for things that may not be shechakol. Okay, so shechakol is translated through whose word everything came to be. Through whose word everything came to be. Okay, continue. Rather, one must learn to determine which blessing he should recite over every type of food. So okay, so like in everything, like in your job, you start a new job. Of course, you don't know many things. So you ask once, right? People told you, you read the manual, you figure out. Okay, that's it. Now you know. So, but the first time you have to ask. Number 4, commentary. There is he should either ask a competent halachic authority. So don't just ask anybody. Like not most. I don't want to say more. Many people have no idea about blessings, right? Even people religious from birth. I mean, it's not no idea. They have general idea, but particular like order and what to do in when it's a conflict and to like it's a mixture, not mixture. So many people are not so knowledgeable, unfortunately. Okay. Okay. Or study the Lord's blessing, right? Himself. So okay. So ask competent authority, somebody who you trust, who would know, right? Not just anybody. Or study the laws yourself in the Mishnah Berurah. Kitzur is not the place. I mean, it's for general things. It's good, but like details, usually it skips details. Yeah, it was skipped. That's why it's called Kitzur. Kitzur is a short. If he studied the laws and still does not determine the proper blessing, he may recite shechakol. So person knows, but this food, he has no idea whether it's a vegetable or it is a fruit or something else, or like some man-made food. I don't know. Like so, in this case, yeah, you would be allowed to say shechakol. Okay. Only on an item that is impossible to identify or which type it is, or the item about which the halachic authorities are in doubt regarding its classification, and it is impossible to arrive at its decision regarding this halachic status, then one may fulfill the obligation to recite shechakol blessings. If authorities doubt in the halachic status, I'm not sure what is. I'm trying to think about example, and I'm not sure if the authority is in doubt what blessing to make. I don't know. If he studied the laws and still could not determine the proper blessing, he may recite the shechakol. Okay, so he studied the laws, he tried his best, could not find. Okay. Generally, any food normally eaten during the meal is exempt from its own blessing, with hamotzi, blessing that was recited upon bread. at the beginning of the meal. Okay, see Siman 43. So it was a long time ago when we learned Siman 43, but just to remind us, if you have a bread meal, or during the Pesach when you ate matzah, so matzah it actually covers, it's considered to be bread for Ashkenazic all year around, Ashkenazim, for Sephardim only during the Pesach, right? And they say mizoinis on the matzah during the rest of the year, but Ashkenazim say chamotzi, matzah. Okay, so matzah, let's say matzah or bread meal. So all of the things covered that are usually eaten during the meal. So things that usually not eaten during the meal, you eat like some kind of desserts, fruits, like fruit salad, right? So of course it's not covered, and wine is not covered, but all other things are covered. Okay. Any questions on what we said before we continue? So go ahead, please.
You said about fruit salad, like what is it that makes it that it has to have an extra blessing within the meal?
Okay, because thank you. First of all, it's a good question. So because it's not usually, it's not like standard part of the meal. So when you have a big dinner or something, like some kind of reception on Shabbos, yeah, you would eat a fruit salad. But on Monday night or Tuesday night, people usually don't eat the fruit salad. And you don't need it for satiation. So what do you need for satiation? You would need, of course, bread. You need salads, vegetables, cooked vegetables, raw vegetables, salad, fish, cheese, meat, whatever, all other foods, eggs. There is a standard, but fruit salad is not. It's not for satiation. It's for taste. Usually people eat it at the end. Usually, right when you actually full. And you eat this as a dessert, like for because you enjoy the taste, not because you're still hungry. And same with all of the cakes, pastries or something, right? If you're still hungry, if you're still very hungry, yes. So they still include it because you're still hungry. But if you're not hungry, you eat it just because of you want something to sweet. Absolutely, it's not covered. So I have to say it's separate blessing. Okay. Any other questions before we continue? So I'd like to make sure that all of us are on the same page, because it's basic, but we're going to see Kitzur. Since Kitzur is short, it builds up very fast. So I want to make sure that we understand what the basic. Yeah, go ahead, please. Question.
If you don't have bread at a meal,
Mm-hmm.
you've got various things there. You've got, I don't know, you got some bread, not bread. You have maybe some meat, some cheese, a salad that has like vegetables and fruits and all of that. How many blessings do you say?
Mm-hmm. So it depends what you have. What you have. For example, I give you example of like practical example of what you're saying. Practical example happened in my house on Pesach. So it was one of the family members said, I cannot eat matzah. That's it. That's too much for me. It was on Shabbos, right? So when we say that bread covers other foods, it's only when you eat minimum. There is a like lenient opinion is you need to eat kizayis. Kizayis is 1 ounce, a little less. Like in grams, it's 28 grams. It's okay, but no, the standard opinion it's kibeitza, meaning 2 ounces. So that person, my family member said, I cannot eat. That's it. So she ate a little piece matzah. Of course, it's less than 1 ounce for sure. It's like maybe half an ounce, maybe even less than that. Okay, so now, we told her now, okay, Baruch Hashem, you cannot eat. No, nobody's forcing you to eat. But now you have to say blessings, separate blessings, right? So bread covers only if you eat enough bread. So if in this case we all washed, she like she did without blessing. She told me in advance that she's not going to eat matzah, just a little piece. Okay, I said no problem. You eat, but without you wash the hands, but without blessing, and then say the blessing, separate blessing. So, for example, we had salad, right? So on salad you say Barek Adama, right? The fruit of the ground, right? Then you have fish. So on fish you say Shechakol. Then you drink wine. No, wine was actually covered. Wine was covered because I said blessing of Kiddush. And what else? And that's it. So in this specific case, it was, there were 2 blessings. But for example, if it's not Pesach, right, I'm going to develop your example. And you have pasta, right? So on pasta, you would say different blessing. You start with pasta, first blessing. Then you go to salad. You say blessing on a salad. Then you have, let's say, chicken. So you say blessing on a chicken. So you would say 3 blessings. And this blessing on a chicken would cover your drinks as well, right? So you want to orange juice or tea, coffee, or whatever you drink. So it's since it is in the same blessing category. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. So, any other questions before we continue? Okay, no problem. Yes, go ahead.
Is wine covered by the blessing on bread?
Say it again. If one.
If the blessing on bread covers the wine.
No. Okay, no. It's a wine. Thank you. It's a very good question. Wine is an exception. And it's never covered by bread. Bread is very important, but wine is as important, right? So yeah. So even let's say on Shabbos, we say blessing on the wine, and we cover the bread or matzah or whatever we cover, right? So why we cover matzah? One explanation, because usually it's proper to say the blessing on all other weekdays. You would say the blessing on a bread, and then in the process of the meal you would say the blessing on wine and drink wine. But on Shabbos and festivals, holidays, right? So we reverse the order, and first we say the blessing on the wine because of Kiddush. So in order not to embarrass in double quotes challah, we cover it with a cover. Understand? So a wine is never covered by bread. It's very important. Okay. Any other questions? Go ahead.
You said on Shabbos and Yom Tov, when you make Kiddush, the Bori Priya Geffen, it actually covers the challah and all that?
No. Apology. Cover meaning with a challah cover, like with a towel or something.
Oh, okay. I was confused.
I apologize. Yeah, I mean the same word, but it means different things. Yeah, go ahead.
I might have misheard it or something, but I think I heard from Rabbi Victor Miller, if you eat a lot of meat, sometimes you have to say wash your hands on it or something. I could be wrong though.
If you eat what?
A lot of meat.
No, we don't say no. We never wash hands for meat. No. Okay. Okay. Continue. I apologize. Any other questions before we continue? Go ahead.
So if Birkat Hamazon is pending because we just have a meal, what do we do first? Counting of the omer, or first Birkat Hamazon and later the counting of the omer?
No, you say Birchas Hamazon and then you counting of the omer. So okay, so let's do it the next question because we deviate from the topic. We have a rule. In Judaism, we have a rule that whatever comes more often takes priority. Right? In secular world, it's opposite. Well, whatever happens once a year, it's very important. For us, it's opposite. Whatever happens more often is more important. Yeah. All right. So let's continue, and then we will open for questions again. So in Judaism, there is no option to be ignorant, right? So a person must go and learn. Especially HaShem gave Jewish people special brain, not to use it for to play computers or something, right? Or to figure out how the phone works, right? But to learn the laws of the blessing, and it's not so hard. So people say it's very difficult. It's not difficult once you start learning. It's especially sometimes I'm trying to repeat the same material, so it would be like very structural in your mind. Okay, so number 3, regarding an item upon which one is recited the blessing, whether he wishes to eat it or drink it, or to smell it, or to perform the mitzvah with it, he must take it in the right hand before the blessing is recited, and he should have in mind which blessing he must recite over it, so that when he uttered the name of HaShem, which is the most significant component of the blessing, he will already know how he will conclude the blessing. Okay, so that's one long sentence. We're going to go back and see with the commentary and with explanations. It's a lot to explain. Okay, so from the beginning. Regarding the item upon which one is recited the blessing, whether he wishes to eat or drink, or to smell. So as we say, this chapter is is a blessing for pleasures. So smelling is one of the pleasures, right? So before you make the blessing, you have to be ready, like because it's one of the sources of HaShem, right? Source to HaShem, right? That you say the blessing, right? And as we said, you redeem the food. You redeem the food, and now it belongs to you, and you're allowed to eat. So we have to take these blessings very seriously, right? Okay, so commentaries say the loss of the blessing or fragrance set out Siman 58. Okay, we're going to get to it, no problem. Or perform the mitzvah visit. Okay, for example, a cup of wine for Birchas Hamazon, Kiddush of Chavdala, right? So it's very good commentary actually, right? You take food in this specific example, a very good example. It's wine, right? And you're not going to drink it right away, right? But you're going to say the blessing over it. Kiddush, right? You say the blessing, and then for example, Friday night Kiddush, the blessing over the wine, like in the middle, there are 3 paragraphs, 3 parts. So one is like 1 paragraph, then blessing on the wine, and then concluding paragraph, right? So even though you said the blessing over the wine, you're not going to drink it right away. Why? Because it's a part of the procedure, part of the ritual. So, but when you say the blessing, so you must know exactly what you're doing, right? Before continue, he must take the right hand before recite the blessing. Commentary: left-handed person should grasp it with the left hand. See Mishnah Brocha. Okay, so okay. So let's see. It's always proper to use your right hand or your strong hand. If somebody's lefty, so left is a stronger hand for all of the mitzvahs, right? All of them. Tefillin we put on a left hand, right? On a left arm, but we wind like we do the actual putting with the right hand. Okay, so whatever you want to do, whatever you want to eat, it must be ready. So I just want to add, because it does not say here. So for example, you have banana. So don't say banana like blessing on a banana where it's still in peel. You have to peel it like it's 100% ready, 100% ready to be eaten. Then you say the blessing, and it's in your hand, or something is in your plate, right? And you need to cut a piece of whatever food, right? So first cut the piece, put it on your fork, get ready, and then say the blessing. That's the proper procedure. Don't start saying the blessing and cutting at the same time. Okay, and he should have in mind the blessing, which blessing he must recite over it. So, like, take 1 second. So, if you need this 1 second, so maybe you thought that there's something else. Maybe, like, if you, especially maybe if you're in somebody else's house and you're not sure, is it wine or is it Pepsi Cola or something, right? Maybe, like, I don't know. Right, so you have to smell, right? That, like, you have to verify what blessing exactly you're going to say, or ask the host or somebody. Okay, so you must know exactly what the blessing to recite. So when he utters the name of HaShem, so when you thank HaShem for whatever this food, so you must know exactly what you're doing, like for what exactly you're saying, thanking him, which is the most significant component of the blessing. Okay, so meaning reciting the name of HaShem, he will already know how he conclude the blessing. So before you start the blessing, make sure you know what you're going to say. So if you're not sure, don't start eating. Number 9, commentary. There is one should not begin to recite the blessing, saying the name of HaShem, Baruch atah HaShem, blessed you HaShem, and only then stop to think how he must conclude the blessing. That's a big disrespect, right? See below 56.5. Regarding one who began reciting one blessing and then realized that he actually is supposed to recite different blessings. So we're going to learn about all of these things. So he thought it's one blessing and then realized it's different, but he already said the name of HaShem. Okay, so it's a different topic. I don't want to deviate. Okay, continue. If he did not hold the item at all, but it was in front of him, when he recited the blessing on it, he has fulfilled his obligation. So after the fact, he or she fulfill the obligation, but it's proper to hold it in the hands and do the action, meaning eating and drinking, as soon as possible after blessing. So meaning what is it as soon as possible? So they say it's proper to say in 1 to 2 seconds. Start eating in 1 to 2 seconds. Okay. So in order to do that, of course, it has to be in your hand or in your spoon or in your fork. But after the fact, no problem. Just 1 second. However, if it was not in front of him at all when he recited the blessing, rather it was brought to him afterwards, even though he had that item in mind when he recited the blessing, he has not fulfilled the obligation, and he is required to recite the blessing second time. So I'm not sure why would person say the blessing. Maybe he thought that something in a cup, maybe it's dark there and the cup was empty. Maybe somebody drank his coffee or something. I don't know. So basically he said the blessing, but the food was not there, and somebody brought it later on. So he must say different blessing. Because why? Like simple logic. Because he was intended to eat whatever food is there. Okay, but there was no food. So let's see the commentary. Okay, see below end of note 13. So we're going to get to it. Mishnah Brura, okay, etc. Mishnah Brura writes that if food was in a closed bin when he recited the blessing, and he need only to remove the food from the bin to eat it, he need not repeat the blessing. Okay, so it's not proper. So basically, it was very close by. I don't know. Okay. Mishnah Brura cites Pri Megadim, who writes that this may apply in any other case where it is certain that the food will be available to him to eat. Even if it is in a different room, there is adjacent to the one in which he recited the blessing. However, one should avoid such a situation in order to minimize any interruption between the blessing and the eating, and so that he may hold the food while reciting the blessing. So Mishnah Brura says, cites Pri Megadim, so it's very, very lenient. So Pri Megadim said that it's not like somebody is going to bring it to him, but but he's going to get it himself. I'm not sure why you say blessing at this point. I'm not sure, but after the fact, we say, okay. After the fact, it's counted. Okay, so let's see. After the fact. But as we said, the interruption must be as short as possible. If one wishes to drink from a water fountain, he may recite the blessing, although the water he will drink has not yet come forth from the spout. See, Orochani. I would say that's a famous one, but I mean, if you saw that somebody just drank from this water fountain, no problem. Okay, you can rely. But if it's I don't know, like very dry in there, so maybe there is no water. So the proper. I mean, even though they say you can say, but I would say if it's dry, if you're not sure if there is water, test it. Press the button. Maybe there is no water. Maybe it's water, but it's rusty. Maybe it's dirty. Maybe this. Maybe that. How do I know? Right? So maybe you say the blessing, and then you see this maybe this water smell bad. Right? So you're not going to drink it. Okay. Okay. So let's do one more sieve. Let's see. Okay. So, 1 second. It's very long. Let's start. If one took a fruit in his hand in order to eat it, and he recited the blessing over it, and then it fell from his hand and was lost, or it became repulsive to the point that it became inedible. And likewise, if he recited the blessing in a cup of beverage, and then the cup spilled, and he cannot retrieve even the single drop of the beverage, then the validity of the original blessing in both situations depends on the following. Okay, very interesting situation. If there is additional fruit or drink of that type before him, and he also intends to eat or drink more than just what was holding in his hand, if so, the blessing applied to remaining of the fruit or drink as well, and he need not recite the blessing second time. Rather, he should immediately partake of the fruit or the drink that is before him. So let's stop here. It's all was one sentence. Baruch HaShem. Let's go in the beginning, and we're going to explain from the beginning. If one took a fruit in his hand in order to eat it, and he recited the blessing over it, and then it fell from his hand and it was lost. So maybe it was a piece of grape and it fell in the grass, right? Tall grass. So I mean, here you cannot find. Lost, right? Or it became repulsive, or some like somewhere in the mountains and there are many like stones, right? Okay. Or become repulsive, so it fell into mud or something, right? For example, one opened a fruit and was found it is rotten. Okay, so he's another example, right? So it was rotten inside, so and there are some fruits, right? So like from outside it's perfectly normal, but somehow like inside it's like maybe like small dot like outside, but inside it's all rotten. Okay. Repulsive to the point it become inedible. So the person does not want to eat it. Okay, so commentary. If any part of the fruit that is even small amount is still edible, that portion should be eaten, thus avoiding need of another blessing. Okay, so of course. So if like for example, you say the blessing on a grape, right, piece of grape, and then you take it and you see that it's spoiled from one side. Okay, just like bite a little piece when it's not spoiled, and if you want to throw out the rest, no problem. But at least this blessing is not blessing in vain. Okay, continue. And likewise, if you recite the blessing on a cup of beverage, and the cup spilled, and he cannot retrieve in a single drop of the beverage. I'm not sure. Maybe like it fell on the floor and cup like upside down, and until we got to the cup, like it's completely empty. But usually when like with our cups, right, with our glasses, even if you knock it off, like it fell on the floor, no, not floor, on a table, the wine spilled or whatever, water, whatever spilled, you still have something, because they're not straight of this cup. They because of the shape, they would hold something back. But if nothing, so what can you do, right? Then validity of the original blessing in both situations depends on the following. So meaning there is nothing is to be eaten, nothing is to be drank from original blessing, right? From fruit or original drink. So okay, so here's the solution. If there is additional fruit or drink of that type before him, and he also intended to eat or drink more than just what he was holding in his hand. Okay, so as the thing is, whatever is in front of the person, even though he did not have intention, she did not have intention to eat it or drink it, so usually it is covered by this blessing. If person said like explicitly, no, I'm going to eat only one piece of grape, that's it, I'm not going to eat second one, that's it. The person died, maybe diabetic or something, these grapes are killer, but the taste is so this blessing is going to stop with this piece of grape, right? But if person did not have anything in mind, right, so all of these fruits that or other things that are in front of him actually covered, right? It's proper to have in mind, so if I would like to eat more, these fruits or these drinks or these other things should be covered wherever in front of me on the table. But even if not, so there is a strong opinion in halacha that all of the things are covered wherever is in front of you on the table, which is good. If so, the blessing applies to remaining of the fruit or drink as well. So meaning, okay, that piece of grape fell or whatever fell, so you can take another piece, right? Because they're also covered. Or you can take another drink. And he need not recite the blessing second time. Rather, he should immediately partake of the fruit or drink from that is before him. Okay, so without saying anything, without any interruption, so just eat or eat the food that would be covered with the same original blessing. Okay, that's a proper definition. Continue. However, one had no specific intent. Okay, the blessing takes effect only on what is in his hand, and he must therefore recite the blessing second time before eating, drinking anything else. So we're going to see the commentary because, as you understand, I just said the opposite, right? So I mean, we said not exactly opposite, but there's a strong opinion in halacha that actually whatever is in front of him is covered, right? So don't make a second blessing. So commentary. Since the original blessing served no purpose, he should say Baruch Shem Kvot Malchuso L'Olam Va'ed. So in all of the situation, when we say blessing, unnecessary blessing, so in some sense you would have to bless HaShem for his deeds with this blessing. But unfortunately, this blessing went to waste, right? Or person said wrong blessing. Right, so he said the fruit of the tree on egg, for example, right, by mistake. So it's wrong blessing even after the fact, right? So this blessing is in vain. So we have to say Baruch Shem Kvot Malchuso L'Olam Va'ed. So this is the line that we say after Shema, right? So we say Shema Yisrael HaShem Elokeinu HaShem Echad, and we say Baruch Shem like in whisper, right? In undertone, you say Baruch Shem Kvot Malchuso L'Olam Va'ed. Blessed the name of the glorious kingdom for all eternity. Okay. Right, because you said, okay, I made a mistake, but I did not intend to bring the disgrace to the name of Hashem, Shalom. I still say that bless is the name and His glorious kingdom for all eternity. I apologize. That's my apology, basically. Right, and after that he should say the second blessing. See Mishnah Berurah 6:26 rule that if there was additional food of the same type in front of him, then even if he did not specifically have in mind to eat that food as well, he should partake of that food without repeating the blessing, exactly as we said. So we go by Mishnah Berurah here, right? For it is considered as a as if the blessing were intended for that food as well, since it was in front of him. So Mishnah Berurah said no. If the food was in front of him, so it's like consider that that you that you are intended to eat, and that's usually the case. So people say, okay, I'm not hungry, I'm full, right? But then there is a food in front of him, and he starts eating like 5 minutes later. Like you said that you're not hungry. How come? Right? Because still food. So people change their minds about eating. You understand? It's not uncommon. Right, so that's why even though he did not or she did not have specific intention not to eat more, so then after the fact this food is also covered. Continue. It was number 13. So that's why people ask me what set of Kitzur Shulchan Aruch to buy, and they bought different set. So I always say, okay, you can buy like the proper thing if you want to like follow the Kitzur, if you buy only this set. Whatever from Art Scroll, because Art Scroll, of course, they translated and did all the comments, beautiful comments on Kitzur, but they added also if the Mishnah Berurah, which is a final halacha, is differs from the Kitzur, or if Moshe Feinstein comments, that's all. If he comments like on some specific case, so like all of the modern application to many things. Okay. Continue. Likewise, even if he intended to eat or drink more than that was in his hand, but that additional food or drink was not before him when he recited the blessing, and now after the fruit dropped or the drink spilled, it was brought before him, he must recite the blessing second time. Okay. Okay, so let's say let's understand what Kitzur is saying, and then we go to commentaries. So it's not the case. That's not what we do. But let's read it one more time. Likewise, even if he intended to eat or drink more than was in his hand, but the additional food or drink was not before him when he recited the blessing. So meaning what the additional food or drink were in the refrigerator or in different room. It was in your shopping bag. It was not in front of you, basically, right? But you intended to eat that food as well, right? Now that after the food dropped or the drink spilled, it was brought before him, meaning the additional food. He must recite the blessing second time. It's not what we do, but that's what Kitzur say. Commentary. See with the previous note, Mishnah Berurah rules that in a case where one specifically intended to partake of additional food. Okay, he said, here is a little orange juice from the morning, but I'm going to finish this and I have more orange juice in the refrigerator. So I want it to cool off a little. You understand? So meaning in this case, this additional orange juice was covered, is covered. Okay. No additional blessing is necessary because it was specific intention. Even if it was not before him at the time of the blessing, he should partake of food and not repeat the blessing. Okay. So as we said, he had a specific intention. Continue. This law applies even if the situation is such that had he eaten or drank some of the first food that was fallen, he would not have been required to recite the blessing on what was brought to him, since once he partook of the first food, it would be exempt with the original blessing. Okay, so we're going to explain. Okay, for here, when the blessing that he recited never took effect on the food upon which he recited the blessing, it is different. So usually, if you're planning to eat something else, well, that's what Kitzur is saying. So even though he explained, he's trying to explain to us why this case is exception, right? Why he rules different from Mishnah Brura. So he said usually yes, whatever you eat it now and you have specific intention to eat later on, so it is covered for sure. It is covered. But here, it is covered because I said original blessing, right? And I intended to eat something else. But here, since original blessing never worked, right? It was never applied, right? That's the case, right? So now he's saying the original blessing did not work. So now we have to say the new blessing. So, but that's not what we do. So let's see the commentary. In certain cases, if one recited the blessing and partook of food, and then more food that is a subject of that blessing was brought, he does not recite the new blessing on the food that was subsequently brought. One of the factors governing this law is whether he had intended to eat the second food at the time of the blessing. Okay, C57.2. We're going to get to it. Kitzur distinguishes between that case where he partook of the first food and here where he did not have a chance to partake the first food. That's exactly how we explain. That's why Kitzur say that you need a second blessing. Okay, but one more time, if he intended or she intended to eat something else, so it's covered, and you just start eating whatever food is in your refrigerator, your closet, or something. Okay, so we can stop here. It's a lot of material. Any questions on this topic, on any topic? We can go any topics.
Rabbi, I just wanted to ask you, after we do the prayer of anything that we're eating, I just wanted to know if this might be a stupid question, I don't know. After we eat and we do the blessing of whatever food we eat, is there a time that you're supposed to do it? Like sometimes I eat and then I get caught up in like work or something and then I forget and then I remember maybe like 2-3 hours later. Is there a time where I can do it, or once that certain time passed, I cannot do it anymore?
No, I'm not sure why I say it's a stupid question. It's a very important question. So and I am going to explain why is it an important question. So if you say in a time, but you're not allowed to say, right? So it's a blessing in vain. So you say the blessing, it applies to nothing. So it's very, very important thing to know. So our sages teach, we didn't get to it in the Kitzur, but we're going to get BeEzrat HaShem. It's proper as soon as you stop eating, say blessing right away. Don't say I'm going to send this email, I'm going to take like a short break, call somebody. No, just do it right away. But after the fact, if person did not do it, possible. It depends what you ate and how much. All right. First of all, first rule for after blessing, you have to eat enough. Meaning what? Meaning 1 kizayis. 1 kizayis, 28 grams, 1 ounce, a little less than 1. I'm calling 1 ounce, but a little less. Okay, 28 grams. Okay, so and you have to according to all of the opinions, to eat this amount in a period of time 3 to 4 minutes. 3 to 4 minutes. Right? So 1 ounce in 3 to 4 minutes. Then and there is lenient opinion up to 9 minutes. So in the case of necessity, we can rely. So, but 1 ounce. So if you ate less than this, right, less than this amount in a longer period of time, in 10 minutes, you like taking small bites or small sips of drink. So you now have obligation to say the blessing because you did not eat enough for a specific period of time. But if you ate, so that's first case. Simple. Now the different case. So if you ate, let's say you ate banana for sure, like half of the banana, it's more than enough. Like in 3 to 4 minutes, for sure you're obligated to say the blessing, right? So in this case, you say you have since you most likely, at least most of the people are going to feel hungry like 15-20 minutes later, half an hour later, right? So it's considered to be snack. And I would say just say like lenient opinion, up to 30 minutes for a small snack. You can say the blessing, 30 minutes, right? But there is an opinion. So if you ate bread, so bread is usually more satiating, right? You say birchas hamazon. You ate 1 kizayis, or again 1 ounce, preferably 2 ounces. I always say 2 opinion, but we tried 2 ounces, right? Then you have, and you ate all other things, you satiated. Then you have 72 minutes to say the birchas hamazon. If you have a huge meal, like you went to a wedding or something, like buffet style, you paid whatever you're trying to eat as much as possible, right? Then it goes by the time that they like some point in digesting system, right? So what does it mean when you still when you start feeling hungry? So this point when you start feeling hungry after this huge meal could be, I would say maybe 2 hours, like that. Depends on the person, that depends on the meal. Maybe 2 hours, 3 hours, maybe 5 hours. Somebody like ate like up to here, up to the nose. So okay, so then you have this 2, 3, or 5 hours to say birchas hamazon. So that's like basic requirements. Okay.
Okay, so it is safe to say it as soon as you're done. Yeah, I think
Yes, with everything, do not delay. So we all of us, including starting with me, we have to make a rule for ourselves. I'm not going to move from this place until I say the blessing. I'm not going to. No, I'm not. I'm sitting in the chair. I'm eating. I'm not going to stand up until I finish the blessing.
Okay, and also regarding the vegetables and things like that, the brochos that we're supposed to say. So I know it's a little hard because sometimes we don't know whether the fruit comes from the ground or the tree. So when you're uncertain, is it safe to say the shehakol prayer?
No. We say today you have to find out if you know the name of the fruit.
Okay.
So
So let's say it's like mashed potato, right? Obviously, the potato comes from the ground. So once it becomes mashed potato, what would it be?
Okay. So you ask a different question. So this mashed potato is an exception. Okay. I don't want to overcomplicate things, but I'm going to give a general rule. If you can still tell what fruit is it, so for example, you have applesauce, right? Applesauce like home style. They call it home style. What does it mean? Home style. You have some pieces of apple, so you know it's apple for sure. So then you say on this home like sauce, applesauce, you have barepri 8. Fruit of the tree. But if it's like you buy from the store, it's like it was like puree, so you say shehakol because you no longer can see the fruit, right? But potato, since you always know it is potato, that doesn't matter how you mash it. Of course, you don't see the pieces of potato, but potato is exception, and you would say barepri chodama, the fruit of the ground on a potato. And another exception, it's like even on the what is it, this dehydrated potato, like potato flakes, right? And then you put hot water or like boiled water, and then you mix and you can eat. So even though it was reconstituted, right, like it was dried, it went through all of the stages of processing, but after the fact, so it's an exception. It's not a rule, it's an exception. That's why I was surprised you asked this question. So you still say barepri chodama. You still say a blessing on the fruit of the ground for these potatoes.
Okay.
But otherwise, if you puree, that's a different story. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, just want to make sure. Okay, thank you so much.
Yes, you're welcome. Any other questions? Any topic? Okay, no problem. So yeah, go ahead.
I have one. So, how must be discarded food packages that have the name Israel on it from Adhut Kosher?
Name Israel. There's no holiness in that name. Nothing. I mean, I understand what he's saying. So on some packages, for example, if it was cooked by a Jew, so it would say Bishul Israel. You're right, or Pas Israel, bread of the Jew. But yeah, you can discard this package. There is no problem. They would never put something on these packages that we would not be able to throw out.
So it only applies to the name.
Yes, yeah, only the name of HaShem or some text from the Torah. I had this issue. Once bought eggs, right, regular eggs, and it was verse. It's probably from this Christian idiots from Yirmiyahu. You understand? Like on the cover when you open the eggs, like you normal, like that's what an issue, right? So I actually cut it out, brought to Gniza, but we never bought this company again. That's too much. Understand? The whole verse. Okay, crazy people. Okay.
Another question I have is about the restriction about music. Is for the 3 weeks or the entire counting of the omer?
No, only 3 weeks. 3 weeks. So I'm not going to name to what day is today, but because I did not count yet. But yeah, it's like we 1/3 through, right? So it's not 30% is over. Okay, very good. Go ahead.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Rabbi, to count the omer, we could say the day before, no? Just so everyone's on track. Like we know that yesterday was 12.
Yes. So we had this incident in a show where I davened. So this usually one person counts like out loud. So everybody knows what to say. Everybody answer amen, and then we say our own blessing. I don't count with them because they counted earlier. Like I count at home when it's a proper time. But that person made a mistake. I think it was 5 or 6, and few people said no, it's wrong date, and the guy did not get it, and he was continued the blessing, and they say it's wrong day. Today is 6. So whoever said today is 6, they cannot say the blessing any longer. That's it. He counted. He said 6. That's enough. He said today is 6. It's too late. But unfortunately, I mean, the guy said the blessing, and he said that the number 6 again. That was blessing in vain. That's one of the example that was blessing in vain. You're not allowed to say that. That's why we say that yesterday was this and this number. Okay, for other people to know. But it's proper to have an application. For example, I sign up on this myzmanim.com, and they send you a text on Telegram or something, and with a number with the whole text. So if you're away somewhere away and and you want to count, so you have this in the proper count. Okay, in your phone. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, so we can stop here. So tomorrow we're going to continue with Shmona Prakim. We haven't, it was a long time. All right, thank you very much. Good night until tomorrow. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night. Bye-bye.